try your prototype? Yeah. Nice.
Can I put here or?
Go for it, yeah.
Can we use?
Yes, of course. This one for you. Test, test.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello. Going to talk. Hello. Check, check. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
Okay, okay, good. The judges are back. Hold on. So allow us to introduce ourselves again. Welcome, Project Group. We have our 3 judges, Mr. Hanoi, Mr. Karun, and Mr. Vincent. And we have our silent observers, Project iCare behind. So since we're starting slightly late, about 2 minutes late, is it okay if later the Q&A we cut it by 2 minutes so that we can finish on time? Thank you. Before that said, Project Group, the floor is yours. All the best.
Can we start?
Yeah, please.
So, most of us know what is this? It's heyday. But instead of a game, what we can make it into a real life, real term. We present you Project Grooot. Let's say Habu has a farm, but Abu lacks in terms of resources, knowledge, labors. And Abu wants to set up a smart system in his farm. So he searched into the market. But most of the systems in the market are super expensive. And the systems does not compromise with Abu's need in terms of data, wrangling, and also customization in order for the farm automations. So does Abu actually has a solution for this problem?
Yeah. So, Abu literally have a solution to overcome all the problems that was mentioned just now. But how are we going to overcome this thing? This might be sound a bit tacky, but this is the reality. About 0.3 million farmers in Malaysia right now are still depending on labor force to accomplish these 5 main tasks in their farm, which is irrigation and mixing. Secondly, fertilizer EC level modulating. Thirdly, pesticide spraying. Fourthly, regulating electricity in their farm. And the last and the most important one is to penetrate the market and to acquire crucial services. So, we from Project Grooot actually provide the most affordable smart agriculture system that is much more cheaper than what it is in the market right now. And secondly, the most important thing, which is customizable option. Not all the farmers needs a very sophisticated system. Maybe they might want to get done with certain stuff in their farm. So we listen to our customers and we design the smart agriculture system according to their preferences. Last but not least, we use the farm data from the live sensor feed to actually make a prediction model and a recommendation model on what actually they need in their farm. Let's say they want to know what is the perfect EC level to control, to actually overcome the micro irrigation. So this actually helps, in a way, the farmers could actually tailor, the data is actually tailor-made to satisfy the farmer's need. So all these elements will be included in our platform, Symbiote. So Symbiote controls all of your farm activities in your fingertips. Secondly, it has a user-friendly widget-styled user interface which maximizes the user experience. Next, it provides a P2P connection not only for customers and the host, but also service providers, such as logistic partners. And the next one is a multiple factor prediction using fuzzy logic and machine learning. So this system actually recommends you what do you actually need in the farm. And the last but not least, multiple visualization and an interactive graphs and charts in order to view your analytics and the live sensor feeds. So, how do we actually survive in this competitive landscape?
Of course, Krishna, we have done our math. For total addressable market, we have identified that 570 million farms out there which requires automation. But it's actually in China, United States, Germany, because they are the big time vegetation producers. While in Malaysia, we could actually target for major vegetable exporters which are Felda and also Symbiote. For serviceable available market, we have identified that over 440,000 big scale farmers and 280,000 small scale farmers are actually available in Malaysia for us to market our product. Not only that, 70% of the vegetable producers in Malaysia are actually lacking in automation and they're still utilizing traditional techniques to actually grow their vegetations. And good news is that recently we have found out that oil palm producers started to implement IoT technology in their farm. So it's a very good news for us actually. Then, last but not least, we have serviceable or obtainable market, where we have already done our survey with 100 over people and we have identified that 80% of them are willing to actually fix our smart group hub in their farm, and commercial farm owners also showing interest in IoT based smart farming systems. As for competitor analysis, we get to know that there are three big time players. First company is Tuya. It's a China based company which has over 8,400 clients. Second company is that we have Lintramax. Lintramax is a Malaysian based company which already work with 700 over oil palm plantations, and we have Paddycast who they have started together with us. Here it's a GLC company and they mainly provide automation only for paddy fields. And here we are from Project Grooot. We have completed 12 projects all over Malaysia by providing an affordable price from 4 to 8K just the kit, and our automation just focuses on plantations, any kind of plantations, and outstandingly we provide data from the sensors, most importantly customization options, and last but not least we retain our customers through discreet counseling.
So, in 2021, we, Project Grooot, has introduced three types of packages which is known as Mark 1, Mark 2 and Mark 3. For Mark 1, it is known as one-off, where we provide three types of services. For Gold is fully automated system, Silver partially automated system, and for Bronze, it's offline system or also known as timer system. For the next, Mark 2 is known as subscription.
customers can pay it monthly or annually according to their financial support. And Mark 3 is a bit different from Mark 1 and Mark 2 because it's more about partnership. So we Project Grooot will provide the system to the customer for free, but in return, what we get? So the customers will give certain percentage of their profit, around 30 to 50% of their profit to us monthly or annually according to the customer. So the benefit for both of us is we can retain a long-term partnership and good relationship with the customers, and we Project Grooot can have financial support for the long term and have perfect cash flow every year. So what we have done so far in 2021, the first thing is collaboration with Polytechnic Mesin Johor and also UNIZA. The project is worth of 20,000. The next is a commercial project in Ara Damansara. You may ask, why is this project is much more expensive combined by both of these projects? But in Ara Damansara, we have done the project from scratch. It's basically from the empty land to full farm by doing the watering, piping system, and the irrigation system. And the third one is we have done multiple peer-to-peer projects in a lot of states in Malaysia. This can be seen as Mark 1 because we just provide the customers our product and we set up it and that's all. So, who are we?
Alright, so this dream team come together with the same goal and aim. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself, Viswal. I'm the CEO of this project group. The second one is Saldanis, and he is the Chief Marketing Officer of this project group. And the third one is Krishna. Krishna is the Chief Technical Officer. And the last one is Kuhan. Kuhan is the Chief Financial Officer of project group.
So, last but not least, what is our roadmap? So, right now, we are currently in the part of fabricating our artificial intelligence module and integrating it in our Symbiote platform. And where are we going? We are going towards a soilless medium. So, we want to discover a new method to actually plant in a soilless medium. And in case of revenue, we have succeeded to reach our short-term target, which is 67K in last year, and our ultimate goal is to reach a 1 million ringgit sales in the near 2025. So we have a quite number of projects. We have quite a number of projects established around the nation, 12 projects, and there's around 10 to 15 projects still under pipeline. And the future monetization strategy is by sales of products, and also subscription, and also government or corporate tenders from pharma, DOA, MAFI, and so on. And that sums up our presentation for today. Thank you so much for listening to us all this while. Thank you.
Thank you, Project Group. Judges, you may ask your questions. We have until 10:10.
Sorry, quick first question, right? So this is a marketing question. Is Project Grooot a working name or is that your Sundarian Berhad?
I'll come again, sir.
Is Project Grooot a working name or is that your Sundarian Berhad?
Oh, it's our Syndrome Berhad. Yeah.
Okay, I think you will have a case against you. It's a Marvel trade name.
Yeah. Actually, sir, we plan to overcome this thing. First of all, we put Grooot, right? Groot. So later on, if we want to do patent marks for IPO, we plan to add another O in the Grooot, so that it would be a different name. Yeah.
This knee is very litigious.
Okay. Likewise, for what I did with Project ICAS, there will be two types of. Would you want to do your demo first before we come to question and answer? Can we? You have a demo, right?
No, actually, sir, this is a display unit.
Just for show only.
Yeah, and this
Something.
this has all the brain modules inside, but
I
we
see.
need power source to power it on.
Yeah, okay. So, what I want to come to this point is actually two sets of questions, or two areas of questions I want to ask. First, we start with technical questions. So, to CTO mainly, you're talking about intelligent farming, IoT farming. So, but you have not go down deep dive into what are the technologies that you're using. I'm actually quite so-called curious, what are the areas that you use, especially how you resolve the areas of power supply. Farms may not have power supply in the middle of a farm, so how you do that. Number two, what kind of sensors? And in your submission, you mentioned that there are usage related to Arduino Raspberry Pi. So how do you actually look into reliability? Those are not industrial grade product. It may break down after 2 weeks or 1 month, 1 month or 2 months. So these are the three areas would like your clarification.
Alright, okay. The first answer for the first question is about the hardware. Like I mentioned earlier, we all think that Arduino is like a school project kit and it's not really reliable. But it was 2 years ago, since we are actually related in this Internet of Things field for about 3 years. I was involved about 3 years in IoT and AI field. So right now, in this year, Arduino has come up with a board called Wemos V1. So it's actually equivalent to PLCs in the market right now. And the most important and the most special thing in this board is you can go online without the need of a backend server. Okay, so we could actually make it as an access point, and we could connect it to the commercial databases out there, such as Firebase, ThinkSpeak, and everything, and we can acquire the data straight from there. So the sensors that we use is actually industrial graded sensors, mostly for EC, electrical conductivity, and the pH, and also the temperature. So all these are industrial graded sensors, and we connect it to, recently we are actually exploring the Wemos V1, and it's actually pretty good. And before this, we were actually trying on PLCs. So PLCs, you need a lot of communication tools in order to make it online. So yeah, that's our hardware part.
So you have a picture here mentioning NB-IoT. How does that come into place?
Come again, sir?
You have a picture there mentioning NB-IoT. Yeah. So
okay.
you work on NB-IoT connectivity?
Yeah. NB-IoT refers to the near field communication.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, NB-IoT is not near field communication. It's a
No,
far field. Yeah. It's a far field It's a low power, long range connectivity. So it's only mainly supported by telcos, which
Yeah.
has switches that supports NB-IoT.
Alright.
So it's used mainly for remote areas. So the question is, are you targeting remote areas or urban farms? I think some of your projects are mostly related to urban farms.
Yeah.
You mentioned some polytechnics and Aragamansara. So there's no need to use NB-IoT for your connectivity.
So actually, sir, no, actually, what I mean by NFC, it's not really NFC. NFC stands for near field communication. But mostly NB-IoT uses 2.4G bandwidth to actually connect to the hardware and the server. So which literally makes the connection go far. But you don't need a very high powered, high-speed internet to control these things.
Yeah, it's not a high-speed internet.
Yeah. So what we use here, we're actually focusing on urban and also the rural farm. Because, as you said earlier, you can control from anywhere. So what if there is no Wi-Fi connection in the farm?
Exactly.
We include a GSM module inside.
So you use GSM module?
Yeah.
All right.
So it could make the board online itself.
I saw that you have some palm oil plantation, or was it your competitor?
Oh, that was a
Competitor, right? So
Competitor.
because palm oil estates are far deep into rural areas, you don't get even 2G connection, so you have to rethink about the connectivity.
Yes.
All right, and especially if your areas of so-called back-end systems are all on cloud. So if you can't access a cloud, then it's going to be difficult, right? So based on that, you did mention about AI, right? On probably providing new inputs to the farmers on how they should actually farm their farms. So, but you did not mention what kind of propensity model or even machine learning stuff. Just curious about that.
Okay, cool. So what I explained just now. Okay, so actually we named it as Group Bioanalytics. So what does it does? Let me give you a simple example. Okay, a farmer is very concerned about the level of fertilizer he's using inside his farm, because it's a guni budget A, budget B.
Those are money, yeah.
Very expensive. So they don't want to waste it just like that. So what we do actually, I give you a small scenario how we're actually using data farming. Okay, first of all, around 8 a.m. in the morning, what we do, we use let's say 2.5 EC level, and we give it to the crops. And what we do, we measure the moisture level, and we measure the pH level of the soil. Later in that evening, let's say 5 p.m., something like that, we again check the moisture level, so that we want to make sure there's either two possibilities. One is the plant absorbed the fertilizer. Second possibility, it evaporated already. So we want to make sure that the plant absorbed. So we go to the second part, which is checking the pH level. If the pH level is reduced from the morning, that means it's a kind of perfect level for the plant, because if the EC level is not suitable, the plant will never absorb the fertilizer. So this is how we actually use the data to actually put into our machine learning. Mostly we are using linear regression model, and we actually put all this data, and the model will give us a solution. What is the EC level should be used? Yeah. For the future.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Very good. You have a propensity model
Yeah.
there. Right. So next question is to CFO. You're the CFO, right? So what kind of so-called funding that you have actually put in? You know, is it all through your own private funding? Are you looking at raising new funds, because it was not mentioned in your submission?
Okay, for the funding, first of all, for startup package, when we are started this thing, we use our own money first for doing all of this. But later we get funding from different clubs or
Crowdfunding.
GKP. So we use the fund to slowly develop our product, and then we get projects like in Arandaman Sarap, like doing the whole farm, and then by using it, we are using the profit to build much more product like this.
Okay. So still
Mostly starting up, we use our own.
your own money, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are not taking salary yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We go one by one actually.
One by
Profit, do, and we are
Yeah.
saving our reserves.
So are you looking at raising additional funds to expand?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons to join.
How much? So it's 101,000.
Yeah.
So you're aiming for that. All right. So okay, another question is more towards both CFO and CEO. You're a CEO, right? So I think there are a lot of new vertical farms that comes on board, and they put their farms in urban areas. It could be in container, it could be in a shop lot, and they grow based on vertical racks and etc. So they put bio LEDs. You know, they use so-called controlled air conditioning systems. You know, in order to grow crops. You know. So yeah, how do you compare yourself to that? Of course, that is actually much more capital intensive investment. Yours is actually targeted to farmers, you know, which well, maybe some of them will use it, maybe some of them will not, depending on their mentality, their education background, and etc. So how do you foresee that these vertical farmers, you know, may potentially come and disrupt, you know, yourself, and including, you know, the traditional farmers and rural areas?
Let me answer for this. First of all, the difference between normal farmers and also the vertical farming technique is, vertical farming techniques, that the farm is only focused on certain types of plants. Like you can't plant a brinjal or okra in a vertical system.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yes, sir. Because vertical mostly focus on leafies, like lettuce and also bayam.
Yes. Okay.
So, but the profit is actually, if we go and find out from the farmers, the profit is actually cash crops. Cash crops means that chili, okra, and also brinjals, these kind of things.
Good.
Limon also.
Yeah.
So actually, the thing is, maybe the vertical farming technological wise, they can be more advanced, and also more very futuristic. But the thing is, as you said just now, farmers, some of them they won't have any backgrounds in regarding these techie things and everything. So the urban farming or vertical farming mostly focus on the new generations, new people starting to do that. But these kind of crash crops are done by the most pioneer farmers, prominent
The
farmers.
grassroots
Yeah,
citizens,
grassroots farmers.
yeah.
So we don't want to make it complicated for them, and we giving out the simple, and yet they can understand that kind of systems, what is actually going through inside that, and what they have to do in order to maintain their cash crops. Because as we analyze the first, the cash crop market is much more very big and profitable, especially in Malaysia, sir. Malaysia here, and also for the East Coast side, like Terengganu or Kelantan, they are much more focusing on the timun and also chili and brinjals and that.
Mhm.
So that is what we have gained.
Oh, good answer. All right. That's what I have.
Okay, so let me just start with a disclaimer first. So whatever we discuss in next few minutes, it is not to discourage you. Okay, this is just to understand how much research you have put into in this project, right? So the way I see it, see, you spoke of market size, you mentioned some companies. So this entire concept, the project Grooot or whatever you guys are doing, uh, this could be a little new in Malaysia. Could be, I'm not sure. But outside Malaysia, especially in the developed countries and in countries that have very large farms, this is already a very prominent concept, right? So what I'm coming to is there are already globally there are already very large, well-established players who have great products and they have market share also. So we may have to, in a way, for now, forget about the market outside Malaysia. Now let's come to Malaysia. Now within Malaysia, uh, what the way I see it is, number one, the market of the farmers. I'm not talking about the modern techniques of vertical farming or terrace farming or whatever, So because like you also mentioned, that's not where the money is. That's just some fancy stuff which doesn't get us money, right? So the real money is in cash crops in this business. So now that's our market size. Malaysia and within Malaysia, cash crops. And now cash crops mostly, like again we discussed and appreciated is, are done by very traditional farmers, mostly in remote, far off ways, who most of the times may not be very well educated. So accessing them, getting them on board with this concept, and making them pay for this kind of stuff, I assume, I could be wrong, may not be a very easy task, right? So one question or one thing that I want to understand is, given this scenario, how do you make this whole thing very viable, very feasible, And second is, somewhere in your presentation, one of you mentioned that you want to or you intend to have get the profit share to the tune of 30-40% from the farmers in lieu of the equipment that you are trying to give them. Now, if I were the farmer, I would never want to share 30-40% of my profit. That's my mentality as a farmer. So, I see these grassroots level challenges. The challenge is not about technology or equipment that's readily available in the market. There are many companies who manufacture and market this equipment. But how do you take this whole thing to the ground and make it work and take it to a level where it becomes actually a viable business, not just an academic project? So that's how I'm looking at it. Any one of you can answer.
So to answer your question, your first question was to actually mentioning about the big time players at 570 million farms, right? Okay. Answering that question, yes, as you have said, the technology is already available in Germany, US, and so on. But
I think we can skip that
oh,
global
skip that
part.
part,
Let's
okay.
just focus on
Then
Malaysia
your
because
next
globally
question-
it's you know distinct.
So how we gonna actually market and make it viable to the existing farm, the pioneers? Is that a question, sir?
How can you become the market leader in Malaysia?
Market leader in the Malaysia. Okay, sir. So to answer your question, what we have done first is that social marketing. Social marketing is very effective, sir, because we found these 12 projects through social marketing. What we have done is that actually the Facebook is our main tool actually. So it's like you post something in the Facebook because right now there's already a lot of users in Facebook. Even the boomers are already using Facebook, sir. So from Facebook we have made
No, do you have these farmers in remote areas on Facebook where you are directly
yes,
able to
coming
connect
to
with them?
that question,
Yeah.
okay, sir. So it's
in
like
the interest of time, I'm
Okay,
trying
sir.
to help you.
Okay, sir. So I'll straight go to the point. So it's like from Facebook users, okay, we are getting a farmer from there. So from that farmer, actually the 12 project is like the connectivity they're having. It's like, okay, once we have done our project in Terengganu, so from Terengganu, what happened is that they recommend to few people out there, around them. So from them, Terengganu is actually quite a remote area, sir. So from there,
So you are saying word of mouth is helping you?
Hello?
Word of mouth is helping you?
Yes, it was helping, sir. It was helping, and currently, UNISA they have said that they're gonna provide us with 20 projects for the CSR activity they're gonna do later. So from there, actually, from one customer, we have already secured another 20 projects. So from there, we move on, sir. It's like from one part to another part, we can cover Terengganu, people in Terengganu, remote area in Terengganu. Yes, from there we can go to Kelantan. And people who might know, sir, like from Kelantan, anyone could contact us, and we have already posted things there and here. And even this ASBK competition is like a marketing platform for us, sir. So from here, if anyone saw us in Facebook, ASBK, Facebook, Instagram, social marketing, and from there, people could actually reach us because we have already provided our contact details. Even this is one of our platforms, so we are moving from, because it's still 1 year, we have only done this project in 1 year. So from 1 year, if we could make 67,000 and there's upcoming 15 projects, so we move from there. Of course, the word will spread faster than the news. So from there, it's like that. So we rely on the connection between the farmers. They have a very good connection because they know their local sellers, who their competitors. From there, we can actually market our product.
So that is what I want to understand. What is your simple strategy to get, you mentioned there are about 0.3 million farmers in Malaysia, right? So let's say if we were to target a 30% of that number, what is your cost effective simple strategy that can help you get those many farmers on board with your project?
Okay, sir. We can do actually.
It is not going to happen through Facebook
Yes,
or social
correct.
media or ASB,
Correct.
you know. So
Okay, to answer this question, sir.
Okay, sir. Actually, let me skip to the point. Firstly, sir, during the pandemic period, most of the farmers get to know about the smart farming system because they couldn't physically go to the farm. So they need a system where they control all the farm activities from their house. So most of them were searching in the Facebook because our target market was on Facebook first of all. So they were searching on the Facebook for a product, and most of them are rural farmers. Yeah. And then coming to the second point, which is like you mentioned just now, like we are getting 30 to 40% from the partnership thingy, right? Okay, sir. Actually, we have literally set up a partnership farm in Alu Gajah market. So how do we do that? We don't actually only provide the system, actually, sir. We provide district counseling. We actually go there and work for their farm. And we actually, each and every month, we will have a session with them, a webinar session with them. And also, sir, Group Connect is a thing where it actually connects the farmer and the customer and also the service provider, sir. Because the main problem now is they can produce 1 ton, 2 tons of chilies and cucumbers, but they don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to send it to the selling points, selling post things. So they need logistic partners. So by connecting all these people in a one roof, we are actually doing a lot of stuff for the Mark 3 package. for the farmers actually. So, in my perspective, I don't think 30 to 50% is a very big amount for the farmer to actually give things to them. Because mostly, sir, the partnership farm are beginners. They don't know anything about farming. So we actually help them in the case of irrigation, from the building from the scratch, all the knowledge and everything. Because we have like 2 to 3 experts from our side, in the farming side. So we could actually help them in case of knowledge, in case of labor force, everything, we will literally go there and help them out.
So currently, what is the cycle that you follow? If you were to just list down step 1 to step and the last step, how does the whole thing work? So how do you reach out to farmer? When you reach out to the farmer, what happens next? What do you do? What is the cycle time like? And what is the entire journey like? So just in simple steps, if you can summarize.
Alright, sir. Let me answer the question. So the thing is, when the farmers or newbies, they want to set up a farm, they don't know anything about the farm and they don't have any idea about the smart systems and everything. But they want to do the farm because of the cash crops profit. So first of all, we will do the marketing. First of all, we have this kind of options to get a partnership with them and can venture together into the field and everything. So the interested parties, they will reach out to us. First of all, we will meet them and we will ask for what kind of plans they do have, what kind of cash crop they want to plant, and where do they plan to plant the thing, set up the thing. So then we will take note of what kind of services that they need in order for that type of cash crop to sustain for a longer time. Then
do you also have some collaboration or some mechanism to help them with soil analysis and recommendations based on soil analysis before they go for which crop do they want to plant?
Yes, sir.
We have land mapping.
Yeah, we have a land mapping system where we actually use drone images to capture the land in an orthographic way, and we actually put it in our system. We analyze the soil using band and color bands, and we actually determine what is the soil quality.
So do you guys do that? You have a some kind of system or software for that, or you are using a third party solution?
Actually, sir, before this, we were using QGIS.
Okay.
Okay, we were using QGIS and we were using Mavic Air, a drone. We are not using satellite imagery because it's not high resolution. So we had to use Mavic Mini to actually capture continuous pictures, stitch them together, make it as an orthographic image, put it inside QGIS, and we do the band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, and the near infrared analysis. It gives us the soil quality. If the soil quality is not nice, then we'll recommend them to use polybags.
Now, how about very basic method of getting soil samples and soil testing done in the labs?
Basic method is through sensors.
Yes.
Yeah, we use EC sensors and pH sensors.
Okay.
If the soil is acidic, then it's not suitable also. Yeah.
Correct. So so this is the entire journey I was trying to understand.
Yes. One more thing, sir. Most of them are opting for fertigation systems. They don't want to plant on the soil anymore because they feel that planting in the soil using the soil is
very
more
risky
difficult because we can't control the environment, control the ambient system and everything. But through fertigation systems, we can actually control how we want that kind of plant to grow and how solid that how quality the product can be. We can set this through our systems and everything.
Yeah, actually, sir, just now I was mentioning about Terengganu, right? Most of the people in Terengganu are using what we call that as a floating polybag method. So they are actually hanging their polybags on the top, and they're planting cucumber inside. This is, if you plant on the down, you need to spend for silver shine, you need to spend for wheat man. So what if you could gantong it? You just need to spend for the what you call it, scaffolding and all kind of things. So that makes their life a bit easier also.
So do you already have formal tie-ups with drip irrigation system providers and all the other? So basically the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, the whole ecosystem, they have connection with us. So every time when a customer asks for something, we have them in the providers.
Okay. So your solution is this hardware that you are assembling, and also the analytics part for recommendations. So that's your solution in summary. Okay, thank you. And by the way, sorry, how do you make money? As in, what is the revenue model?
So, okay, how we make money. So every time we are doing a project, so the profit that we are getting, we are using as investment again.
how do you earn money? Not profit. So how do you charge?
Or how do we charge?
Yeah.
So,
You have 1 minute left, by the way, maybe 50
Okay.
seconds.
Let me answer for this question, sir. Normally, for the basic farming, without the online connection and totally offline automated level, we will charge them from 500 to 1,000 according to what they need. For example, they need irrigation, automated irrigation, automated pesticiding systems. We'll charge them that amount. But for like as we said just now, our packages for the partially automation, whereby they will have their systems and sensors, and they will gain the data, and they will use them
analytics.
analytics for them.
Yeah.
So that would be pricing range from 2,000 to 4,000.
Yeah, so that's one-time money or that's a monthly?
Yeah, that Mark 1 is one-off payment, sir.
Okay.
Mark 1 is one-off payment.
I'm so sorry, but time is up.
Thank you, GK.
Thank you very much, Project Group.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Couldn't.
Thank you so
Alright.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you
So, Project Group, Project iCares, once again, allow me to repeat, you can stay here for the final team to present, as long as you remain silent and do not interact. Judges, please use the next 5 minutes to fill up the evaluation. Thank you very much.